is a leadership change within Russia, do you think that will affect how the other countries who have built up these relationships with the current leadership of Russia will interact with each other because there is no central large power anymore that is supporting them in a way that they used to? Do you think they'll connect more closely as a way to keep that power balance that they lost after a loss of Russia? I know it's hard to...
You're saying, your question is, what's going to happen to
the allies of Russia if Russia does lose.
Yeah. Well, if Russia conquers Ukraine, Russia will go on to try to take over other countries. If Russia doesn't conquer Ukraine, then the problem will be, what does Russia do? Russia will probably rearm and come back for another bite of the apple, if possible, and maybe in a different direction. As long as Vladimir Putin is there. You have to believe this guy's 70 years old. He doesn't know the world except through Russian eyes. He was indoctrinated as a young boy into the view of Marxism, Leninism, that the world is against Russia and hates Russia. It's not true. Russia has great culture, great language, and yes, it's got an imperial tradition, but you know, at the end of the Cold War, we invited Russia to join NATO. They wouldn't do it. But, you know, it's really, as long as Putin is there, it's going to be trouble. And it means that when we do the security arrangements for post-war Ukraine, we're probably going to bring them into NATO because there's no other way to really give them security. Next question.
I was wondering if you were in charge of military assistance to Ukraine at this point, would you modify the current approach? For example, if it were possible to provide more extensive air defense systems, something akin to Israel's so-called Iron Dome, do you think that would be a possibility?
So if I were in charge of aiding Ukraine, would I give them more? Right? Yeah. I would. Now, air defense is one of these tough things.
Could you elaborate something?
Air defense is one of these tough things because nobody has enough of it in the West because we rely on our Air Force, and we have since World War II. We've never really been challenged for air superiority, so we never had to really invest seriously in air defense. So there are some systems there, but they've got to be built. And so it's going to be a while before we really get the air defense in to Ukraine. And on the other hand, they need tanks, armored fighting vehicles, more mobile artillery, and longer range artillery. And if I were in charge, I wouldn't be quite as sensitive maybe to Mr. Putin's red lines, because we don't really know what his red lines are. You know, there's one strategy that says, just hold on and let Russia exhaust itself and prepare for a long war. I agree with that strategy with an asterisk. And I would say at the bottom, but win it as soon as possible. And that means give them more now. Because this is a nation of 40 million people. It's under attack. It's not able to strike back at Russia. Those missiles are coming in and taking out civilian infrastructure, water and power and so forth. And Putin is betting that he can punish the people of Ukraine and eventually they'll give up. And he's betting that he can punish the people of Europe with cutoff of gas and oil, and they will give up. Okay, they're not going to give up. But on the other hand, he's got an industrial base in Russia that the Ukrainians don't have. He's got 4 times the population. He's got technology from China and Iran that will be coming in. You cannot assume that time is necessarily on our side. And therefore, that's my asterisk. Yes, let Russia exhaust itself, but give them more. Take a little bit more risk. Push Putin harder. Break him sooner rather than later. Save lives in doing so. Thank you all again.
Everybody, if you are going to the working dinner with General Clark, that's going to be in Cortez Hall right now.